Well, I didn't want to review this, folks, but since it's part of the Silent Night, Deadly Night series, I'm going to basically talk about this movie. And this is another movie of the Silent Night, Deadly Night series called Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 Initiation. Well, the story of this is pretty flawed and very weak. That's what I can definitely say about this. So, this has nothing to do with, the other three, Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. It has no resemblance to those, as it drops the storyline of Billy Chapman and Ricky Cadwell characters entirely. Of course, there is a future new killer named Ricky. So, pretty much, all they have to really say is, that this barely has anything to do with Christmas. I even watched this at one point, and I have to say, it doesn't really have anything to do with Christmas, really. I mean, maybe you only get a few scenes involving Christmas, but the whole thing just doesn't involve Christmas entirely. So, basically, the plot is about, what was it? Oh, yeah. So, basically, the plot is focusing on a Los Angeles news reporter who, while investigating the unexplained death of a woman, becomes entangled with the coven of love worshipping witches who are preparing for her for a ritual on Christmas Eve. So that's mainly what the plot is. Of course, there is pretty much scenes where, Ricky is doing what he can to, pretty much, give in and to what um Kim's feeling and stuff. I mean, this is just about a girl named Kim and the stuff that she was going through, and she was a reporter. So basically that's mainly what the plot of the fourth movie is. Oh my god, this movie it's just literally terrible. It's one of the most weakest movies of the Silent Night Deadly Night series, although the fifth one is a lot better than this one. And I'll be reviewing the other one in the future, but this one, it has nothing really to do with Christmas. Like, there's only a few, I mean, there's some shocking horror scenes in this film, but most of it was just not really good. This film just obviously, you know, it just it just doesn't sit right with me when it came to this movie. Like, I remember first time when I watched it, this obviously has nothing to do with Christmas, despite Christmas appearing here and there. But the whole thing, there's just no Christmas. You know, it's not really a Christmas movie, despite it being about Christmas. There's barely any elements or anything to do with Christmas in this movie. That's what's disappointing about this film. I mean, I will say that this film came out in the 90s, which I wanted to like this movie, but unfortunately, it just doesn't sit right. This film just literally doesn't sit well with me, and it just talks about this reporter and Ricky. There's nothing to do with, the Billy Chapman story or the Ricky Cardwell story. There's literally nothing to do with any of those. And I know for a fact that this film obviously pretty much got low reviews, which I wouldn't doubt that it had low reviews. This movie was fucking terrible. My god, I mean, this movie, when I first watched it, I was like, why the hell does this exist? This movie is just really terrible of the Silent Night Deadly Night series. This film is just, oh, it just wasn't that good. I'm just gonna sit here and be brutally honest. It just did not, sit well. The film itself is just absolutely terrible, in my opinion. I don't understand why this movie existed, but it's just not really a good film. I'm definitely gonna have to say, stay away from this Silent Night Deadly Night movie. It's not worth it. It's just really terrible. That's one of the best reasons I can describe it. Is, it's just a very terrible movie. So with that being said, this is obviously just really terrible. It has barely anything to do with Christmas. That's what the first Silent Night, Deadly Night, free Silent Night, Deadly Night movies involved was Christmas. This one barely has any elements to Christmas overall. It just obviously just doesn't fit well with this movie. Like, this could have been, had a lot of potential to be good, but unfortunately, it just doesn't look really good. It's just a terrible movie. And that's definitely me saying something here, because this film is just absolutely terrible. Like, there's nothing good about this film. I remember watching it a few times and I just like, oh my god, I was just facepalming because of how terrible this movie was. Like, no offense to people who were behind the movie and making it, this was just a terrible movie. I'm just going to be brutally honest. This was just a terrible movie. But I mean, this movie could have had potential to be good, and it did have potential, but it just fell flat and it just didn't work out. I mean, it just doesn't sit right with this movie. That's one of the main reasons I can definitely say about why this movie sucks. I mean, it's not even that scary or anything. It's just disturbing and just cheap scares just to try and scare people. This literally has nothing to do with Christmas. And like I'm just gonna say, this is just simply my own personal opinion. If you disagree with me and you like this movie, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these movies. And what rating do I give Silent Night Deadly Night 4 Initiation? I give it a 0 out of 10. It's not good. It's just terrible. It has no relation to Christmas, despite Christmas being seen in only a few scenes. But there's nothing to do with Christmas here. It's just a terrible movie, and I really have to say this is my least favorite movie of the Silent Night Deadly Night series. This film just had nothing to do with Christmas, most of it, and I just don't understand this movie. I really don't get it. I don't get it why it's like that. This movie just really sits not really good with me. And I'm just gonna be brutally honest, and I'm being fair with you guys. Do I need to say any more? I don't think I do, but like I'm just gonna say, like I'm always gonna say, and like always continue to say, I don't recommend this movie. If you, like the Silent Night Deadly Night movies, I don't recommend you see this one. It's that terrible. So anyways, with that being said, what did you guys personally think of this movie? What are your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. As always, I'm Miss Dark Shigo. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you want to go follow me on my main channel, which is Shadow the Lion Queen, a link to that will be in the front page section of my channel, so you guys can go check out my main channel. And as always, that's all I have to really say, but if I'm missing something, please let me know what it is in the comments below. And as always, I'll be catching you guys all in the next video. And stay away from this film, guys. That's literally my best advice I can say for those who are curious about if they should watch this movie. Now, as always, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.